Rose Marcotte. I'm the content strategy lead at Carkit, and this is Justin Pauley from True Northern Life. Hey, Justin.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing today?
Doing very well, thanks.
Awesome. So today we're going to be talking about your company, the True Northern Life, and let's just start with like the bare basics. You want to tell us the origin story, how your company came to be?
Yeah, sure. We actually started by trying to sell silly Canadian-themed T-shirts and quickly realized that the T-shirt market was super saturated, and that was a terrible idea. So about a year later, my wife had started making candles as a bit of a hobby. And in the background, I started looking into the feasibilities of actually like scaling this up and making a business out of it. And lo and behold, a couple months later, I actually came to her with like, hey, so I think we can actually take your candle hobby and turn this into a full-fledged business, and I may have ordered 500 jars. So you're welcome.
No pressure.
And that was kind of how we got started.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you and your wife co-founded this business together. How is that? How is it working with your wife and creating a product together?
It's been really fun. I think like it's been interesting in that like we complemented each other in so many ways in our personal lives, that we also complement each other quite a bit in our business. So I'm much more the like numbers guy, business management type experience, and she's much more the creative side. So she's come up with a lot of ideas and a lot like around our branding or naming that I definitely would never have come up with, but I can certainly manage the accounting software. So that's my role.
Awesome. So how long has the company been around?
Officially, the T-shirt portion of it started January 1st, 2016. We launched candles around mid-year 2017, and we did our first public markets fall 2017.
Can you share some of your maybe numbers with me, like maybe your MRR or like something like that? Just some details so we know kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, like it's pretty little. Like we right now are treating it as a bit of a side project. Yeah. But we've managed to do pretty well. Like I think in our first year we sold like $4,000 or $5,000 worth of candles, which like to go from a hobby to selling $5,000 worth of candles was kind of crazy.
Definitely.
In the second year, we managed to do about $15,000, and then in the last year, I think we're around $20,000 to $25,000 so far. So.
Definitely, that's fantastic. Sounds like you've been growing pretty consistently year over year, so that's always good to see. So, how are you doing your advertising, or what kind of maybe social channels or advertising channels have been working for you?
Our biggest one is Instagram. We love Instagram. We had started with all like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We found for us, our audience and our market was just not on Facebook and Twitter. Like our demographic wasn't. So we post a lot to Instagram. We don't actually currently really do much paid advertising at all. But what we have found is that people really, because they're candles, people really like to smell them and to physically interact with them. Yeah. So we've really gotten ourselves out there by trying to approach like wholesalers and getting our candles in stores, and by doing as many like markets as we can. So like last fall, we did I think 18 markets in 10 weeks, just to try and get our product and our name out there as much as possible.
Cool. So yeah, that sounds like I mean, I'm the same way. Candles, I want to smell them. So until the internet figures out how to make like a smell-o-vision, because it's a little bit limited, but, so how have you been growing your business? You've had regular kind of like year over year growth. What do you think that you can attribute that to?
I would say like in the first year, the growth kind of came from getting a couple wholesalers. They were like a huge benefit to us, and a big deal. Like that was kind of a whole new area for us. This year, it's been primarily around targeting like larger markets. So whereas we used to do like small local community center type markets, this year we've done like really big shows, like one of a kind show, or we'll be in the Ottawa Signature shows this fall, which is a 10-day market and a very big production. So.
Oh, cool. So tell me about making your very first, we'll say candle sale. We'll clarify for the candles. How did that feel and what was that like?
I can remember kind of two first sales. Like the first time I sold a candle, I think was at work, and it was to someone I knew. So it was very much like, this is really cool. probably doing it to help us, probably because they are friends of ours, and like that's really nice, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
The first time I got a real order, I actually got the notification on my phone that an order came in. And I remember going in and checking it, being like, okay, like this is, I'm sure it's just like my parents or something like that. And I saw the name and I didn't recognize it at all.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And all I remember is like running into my bedroom and like telling my wife, like, hey, we totally just got an order from like a total stranger. And I think it was only for like 2 candles. It was nothing major, not a big deal. But we definitely celebrated that night like we had won the lottery. Like it was the biggest moment of our business.
Definitely that feeling when it's not, because family and friends will always try and support your business and like kind of build you up. But it's super exciting when somebody you have never met before like likes your product enough to purchase it. Totally.
Yeah.
So what was a mistake maybe that you made early on? And what did you learn from it? If any.
I think I'd say a couple early on. One was trying to spread ourselves too thin. So like trying to do too many shows or like too many markets without really understanding like how much we would sell or how much we would do, and like potentially running out of stuff. So there was a couple times where like we'd have to go home and make candles like in the evening because we had another show the next day.
Oh, wow.
And we had run out of like certain scents. I'd say another one was probably just trying to scale production. Like there was definitely a couple of mistakes in like how much of something we had ordered. And so like there are still some supplies I have in my house that we will probably never use because we kind of made a mistake in how much we bought of something in the early stages. So.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Can definitely see that happening. So like the materials, like did you just order like too many wicks or like what happened?
Like I have a bag of, we bought a bag of 250 gold lids, thinking that we would do like a bunch of limited edition with gold lids. I think we made 2 dozen with them 2 years ago, and we haven't touched them since. So there was like those types of things, like stuff we thought we might do for like special editions or this or that. And then like realizing like, no, that's not feasible. We'll never do this again. So.
Definitely. Yeah. So speaking kind of on like special editions or, I don't know, like kind of maybe more seasonal. Are you doing anything to get ready for BFCM, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holidays?
Yeah, so we will spend we've already started, but we'll spend pretty much all of November making as many candles as possible in preparation for the 10-day signature show and around like the BFCM holiday. So we want to have all of our stock kind of done and ready to go for then. So making something like 800 candles in the next 3 weeks. That's kind of the main one there. And then we do also try and do some seasonal products. So like we have like a special edition candy cane candle that we only produce for Christmas, and it's only available in person. So we'll see those out and about this holiday.
Sounds heavenly. I love candy cane. That probably would really perk up like the Christmas spirit in the house or the holiday spirit. So was there ever a time when you kind of sat down and you were like, oh my gosh, this is so much stress. I don't want to do this anymore. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, probably more often than I would like to admit. I'd say the most recent one was this summer. We kind of went through October, November, December, all the way through to June, pretty much doing like constant shows, constant markets. And we did kind of find that we very much burnt out. So this summer we kind of decided, like we had a lot of inventory on hand. So we kind of took a bit of a pause this summer to recover. We've also realized over the last couple of years that our business is very seasonal. Nobody buys candles in July or August.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of have that break. And it lets us recharge. And so like we resumed production about a month ago to get ready. But we've had orders come in, like we've had orders trickle in over the course of the year, and even a few in the summer, surprisingly. But luckily we had enough inventory to just kind of keep managing those without having to like go into big production mode.
Fantastic. So what advice might you give to somebody who is maybe kind of feeling that way, kind of feeling stuck or stressed or trapped, that like you wish, or maybe somebody did tell you when you were there?
I think as hard as it is, you got to keep going. I think all businesses, like you will hit a point where like it's not quite big enough to do full time, but it is a lot of your time. So you just got to get over that hump. And when you're in those moments, I think just really try and push yourself and keep going. And you will come out the other end, or you should come out the other end. So yeah, that would be my biggest recommendation.
That's good advice. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. So how do you define business success? What makes your business successful?
I'm very much a numbers guy. So, when the business is able to start being profitable, to me, that's success. Even if it's tiny amounts, that is very much success. Like I would still say we're very early, even though we're a couple years old, we're very early on in any sort of business life. And like the first couple of years of most businesses, they're not really profitable. All of your time given to it is free. And so it is nice when it starts to make money for you and not everything is just coming out of your pocket. The other thing too, like one thing I think my wife and I would both agree on, like for us, like around success is like just seeing people like how much they love our products. And like we get people, like we do candles for all the provinces and territories, so we have so many people come up to us and laugh and joke and be like, oh, like this reminds me of my hometown, or this is where I'm from, or so and so would love this. And like those to us are some of the best moments we have in running our business. So to me, that's also part of success.
It's very cool. So you have a scent for every province and territory. How do you decide like what Ontario smells like, or Quebec, besides maybe maple syrup? I don't know.
Yeah, so my wife is actually American, and she was new to Canada when we were starting, or she had come to school in Canada, but she had just recently moved here with me when we started thinking about our business. And so she actually did this as a bit of a learning experience for her too. She started to research like what each province was known for. So like, and we're trying to do like flowers or fruits or things like that. So like Ontario being known for apples. So apple orchard would make sense. Or like some we did provincial flowers. So like New Brunswick, it's the purple violet. So we did the flower there. Or Quebec, it's maple sugar because everybody knows maple comes from Quebec. So we very much started that way. Since then, we've expanded into like, we decided we wanted to do more around like funny sayings. So like, sorry, what is a sorry candle smell like? What should that be like? Or like out for a rip, like what is that? Or double, like all these funny things around Canada. Like how can we encapsulate those funny sayings into scents?
You can really capture like a souvenir market when you start doing stuff like that, because people will buy it for like their non-Canadian friends or for their maybe Ontarian friends or whatever.
Yeah, we actually made it to last Christmas. We made it onto like a top 10 list with CBC of like what gifts to buy your like former Canadian friends or family and send to them around the world. So
that's super cool. So what's next for True Northern Life?
I think for us, it's really trying to like focus on the big markets, so like the signatures and the one-of-a-kind shows of the world, and break into more wholesale. We've done a lot of like local and kind of like mom and pop shops for wholesale, which has been really good, and we love dealing with them. But it'd be really cool if we could break into some sort of chain that would really let us kind of take this to the next level. But we'll see if we can get there. Well,
good luck to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And do you have any parting words of wisdom, or anywhere you want customers or visitors or anybody who wants to like kind of engage with your business? Where would you suggest they do that?
Yeah, the best place right now would be our website, so truenorthernlife.com. And come check us out this December 5th to 15th at the Signatures Ottawa show at the EY Center.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a great day, Justin.
Thanks very much.
Bye.